Assalamu alaikum, hello and welcome to the first on Renewables podcast, brought to you by the UAE mission to IRENA, that's the International Renewable Energy Agency. My name is Nawal Hosseini, I'm the UAE's permanent representative to IRENA, and I will be your host for a new series of podcasts. In the coming episodes, we will talk to some of the most influential people and thought leaders in the fields of renewable energy, climate change, sustainability, and the environment about the issues shaping the world we live in. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change is one of the greatest challenges of our time. Efforts to preserve our environment, protect our plants' biodiversity, improve urban air quality, and manage the Earth's temperature go hand in hand with the global energy transition to cleaner, renewable energy sources. The working relationship between those in the fields of climate change and renewable energy must therefore be close, collaborative, and mutually helpful. So how can we work together most effectively to leave a greener, healthier planet for generations to come? Joining us to explore this topic in our first episode is His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Mohammed Belhaif Nuaimi, who was appointed as the UAE's Minister of Climate Change and Environment in July 2020, having previously served as the Minister of Infrastructure since 2013. Your Excellency, thank you so much for joining us on Renewables podcast. Very nice to have you with us today.
I'm very pleased to be with you, Doctor.
So before we dive into the serious business, everybody knows the very talent you have, which is poetry. Can you please share with us how this talent has maybe helped you inspire so many people to know a little bit more about the UAE and understand more about our culture?
I thought that this is probably something to do with the soft power, and I felt to convey any message, if it is structured in such a way that people in the Arab world can understand it, you would make more sense than going aggressive with any topic. I joined Ministry of Infrastructure 2013. Okay. So I was there for basically 7 years.
Inshallah.
And that gave me a bit of a will to communicate with my colleagues, my people around the ministry, and also when I travel abroad to the Arab League. So I felt that this is a good soft power to communicate, and particularly when you speak about national days of Saudi Arabia, of Kuwait, of Bahrain, then you become part of their national anthem, part of their celebrations when it comes in national days. So that is, I think it's part of the soft power that we have in the United Arab Emirates to communicate with the other nations.
So, having recently been appointed as the Minister of Climate Change and Environment, how are you acclimatizing to the ministry and its different role and its different functions?
The best start is actually to start outside the ministry. So what I actually did, I visited our laboratories, our border labs. I visited farms. I visited only last week. I was in Al Ain, Abqar Al Ain for professional visit, and I felt that to know what is happening inside, you really need to know what is happening outside. So once you know all of that, then you know what to change and what to modify and how to think ahead. Lately, I have actually presented our strategy for the next 5 years.
Okay.
Sheikh Mohammed blessed it, His Royal Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, Sheikh Mansour liked the components, the criteria that the ministry is putting forward, and what we are going to be doing during the next 5 years, but we'd break it into 18 months just to realize what has been, what to modify and what to change.
So having worked to develop that strategy, I'm sure you have a bit of an understanding of the challenges that you would be maybe facing in this new role. And I'm sure you've by now shaped and ambitious for that function. Would this be something that you are willing to share with us?
I'm quite sure that our findings after COVID-19 is probably the way to lead forward. What we have discovered that we really need to concentrate into our local farmers. We need to concentrate into our food security. We need to concentrate into our supply chain. Also, we need to do a bit on testing, probably looking into having a very sophisticated laboratory for testing. So these are the things that we really realized today. We also realized that we are going very fast and doing well with climate change, the legal part of it, what we should be doing next. We recently had been classified as #1 worldwide in 8 components, and that is really nice to know. But my main concern when starting, I would actually start my first 18 months dealing with the local challenges. During my visits, I have seen great farms. They only need support. So these are the challenges that probably I know that we will be facing, my team and myself. And I feel that if you are strong internally, then you can be strong outside.
I have no doubt that with their leadership and with their understanding of the challenges that so early on, we will definitely be able to achieve. So if we go back to climate change, within this field, who inspires you? Who you look up and you think that's my role model when it comes to this?
There is only one person that could be inspiring everyone, and that is Sheikh Zayed, bless his heart. A man who came from the desert, knows the value of a clean climate. A man who insisted to participate in conferences 6 months after the establishment of United Arab Emirates. A man who took us in a legal format for the environment, 1975, if I'm not mistaken, can inspire anyone. Today, we have seen a lot in the climate change. We have seen, so we've educated people simply because we know that Zayed would like this. So I was really inspired by
You're absolutely right, Your Excellency. He has been an inspiration to all of us here and even globally. And honoring his legacy has been our mission since we opened our eyes, basically. So absolutely true. His wisdom and his legacy continues to become an inspiration to everything and to everybody around the world. So thank you for those words. So there was a New York Times article from August that put extreme heat and climate change inequality under microscope, a topic that is really relevant for us, as you know, in one of the hottest places in the planet. The article stated, and I quote, "For the past 60 years, every decade has been hotter than the last, and 2020 is poised to be among the hottest years ever. But a hotter planet does not hurt equally. If you are poor and marginalized, you are likely to be much more vulnerable to extreme heat. You might be unable to afford an air conditioner, and you might not even have electricity when you need it." I wonder, Your Excellency, what are your thoughts on this topic?
I believe that heat is not only affecting the economy, but it's also affecting the people themselves.
Yeah.
I did some long time ago, I did a research on the impact of heat on human productivity. That impact was massive. Today, in some locations where artificial climate does not exist, humidity is at the 90s in some places in Africa, and temperature exceeds the 40. So that is something where we really need to establish something that could help countries that are less fortunate, and they are in the less comfort zoning as well.
Absolutely. And the UAE, to your point, has been providing a lot of aid to contribute to the global challenges when it comes to energy access. You know, you have our Caribbean Fund, $50 million. We have our Pacific Fund, $50 million. And the $350 million that they were a commitment from the UAE also to the IRENA, which is the IRENA Fund, IRENA ADFD Fund. So I know we're taking so much of your time, but if you will allow me a few quick questions where your answer will be 1 or 2 words maximum, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Okay. So, beach or mountains?
Both, but I'm more into the beach. I was born on the sea, on the seashore. Actually,
yes.
I come from a place where all fishermen, so I'm on the beach.
Email or face to face?
Face to face.
Okay. Feeding lions or shark diving?
Well, I had to. Shark diving is easier.
Okay. If you could, and I hope you never have to, but if you could only eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would that be?
Fish.
Fish. If you could swap jobs for one day, what would you swap with and why?
If there is a Ministry of Leisure, I would really go for I would swap with that.
And I think you will be bored in one day and you are going to claim it back.
I would.
Yes. The thing you missed most during the COVID lockdown?
My freedom.
Your Excellency, thank you so much. Your insights and your wisdom has been enlightening to all of us, and we are very inspired by your previous work, and I'm sure we are going to be inspired with your future achievements.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you so much.
You.
Thanks for listening to On Renewables. If you liked us, subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts. And if you've got any feedback or questions for any of us at the UAE Mission to IRENA, leave us a comment on our social media pages, Instagram and Twitter. Thanks again for joining us, and see you next time.